friends just in case they might play. Talking down about me, ooh, make it feel disgusting. Dreadlock inside the well, life can get tangled. Mike the money. Mike the money. Mike the money. I'm making money, Mike the.
You're now tuned in to the Mic'd Up Money Radio Show, where faith meets finance and real talk fuels your comeback. This isn't hype, it's healing. This isn't theory, it's transformation. If you're building a brand, a vision, or trying to get back on your feet, this show is your reset button. Welcome to the table where entrepreneurs talk money with clarity, courage, and conviction. Let's get mic'd up.
This podcast or broadcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, health, tax, or professional advice. Always consult a licensed professional for specific advice related to your situation. Thank you. Welcome back to Mic'd Up Money, where we talk real business, real money, and real decisions that affect your future. Hi, I'm Ephraim Simmons, the business strategist.
And I'm Jasmine Johnson, your efficiency expert. Today we are talking about something entrepreneurs deal with every day, but often do not want to call it out by its real name.
Politics.
But not politics like arguing online or posting memes or even yelling at the TV.
No, we're talking about politics that touches your cash register. The politics that shows up in your business license, your permit, your taxes, your contract opportunities, your inspection, your zoning, your grant application, your vendor registration, and your access to capital.
Because honestly, most entrepreneurs, they don't meet politics in Washington.
They meet politics at City Hall.
Yeah, at the county clerk's office.
At the inspection desk.
At the zoning board.
At the bank.
In the bid process.
And sometimes in the no bid process.
Ouch, you gotta do them like that?
That one like sting a little.
Yeah, so today we are breaking it down. Local first, state next, and national last.
Because City Hall can hit your business before Capitol Hill ever does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jasmine, let's start with the truth. Entrepreneurs love to talk about national politics, but many of them do not know who controls the local rules affecting their business.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the main problem. They may know who is running for president, but they don't know who approves their business permits, who enforces their signage rules, who manages their vendor registration, who even controls inspections, or where the contract opportunities are even posted.
And that is not just a knowledge gap, that's a money gap.
Exactly. Like local politics affects whether you can open, whether you can operate, how fast you can get approved, what fees you pay, how customers access you, whether the area around your business is safe or not, and whether you know about local contracts.
Let's make it plain. A restaurant owner may care about national tax policy, and they should. But before that, they better care about food permit, health inspections, signage rules, parking, grease trap requirements, sales tax, local business licenses, and where the construction on their street is about to block customers for 6 months.
And honestly, from an efficiency standpoint, delay is very expensive. If your permit is delayed, your opening is delayed. If your inspection fails, you're losing money. Your revenue is delayed. If your paperwork is incomplete, which, a lot of people in our community like to have incomplete paperwork, your opportunity is delayed. And if you miss a vendor deadline, that contract is just as good as gone.
So when entrepreneurs say politics does not affect me, I want to ask, who told you that? Because your business is sitting inside a system of rules.
Yes, and the local rules count more towards your business than anything, as we have stated.
Yes, some entrepreneurs know national headlines, but they don't know local business requirements. This is not strategy, that's a distraction.
And distraction, overall, is expensive.
City Hall can hit your business before Capitol Hill does.
And if your paperwork is not ready, City Hall does not have to hit hard.
Your business may be private, but the rules around your business are public. Well, we want to ask, what local rule, license, inspection fee, or permit surprised you after you started your business? And entrepreneurs, what local requirement cost you time or money because no one told you up front? Text us one thing you wish you knew before opening your business.
Did any of these questions affect you?
Well, I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs. I remember one case study. One client started a restaurant in a suburban place, and it was horrific because their whole business model depended on them selling liquor, but they were too close to a church. So they couldn't couldn't sell liquor. And then what made it worse is this suburban town was charging them like, I think it was like $50 a day, $100 a day, because they did not have bushes around their sign. And it was horrible. And I'm saying, like, before you start opening up a place, you need to know all the rules, because they can really make you lose money and they can really put you out of business before you really get started.
Yeah, I got you. I can say I've never ran across anything like that in my experience. I'm just going to be honest, because I've talked with local business owners and whatnot, but a lot of stuff that I do is virtual. So it's like virtual assistant. So it's not many rules I got to follow. It's more of how I set up platforms and how I make their business more efficient. But that's very interesting. $50 because of the bushes sounds like an HOA thing to me, but whatever.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You go to these suburban towns, it's home rule. And before you do business in these local suburban places, you need to know what the home rules are, because if they do not like you, your ability to survive is not going to be good.
Oh, well, you heard it from Ephraim. You better check out if you're going to be opening a business in these local towns. I got you.
The thing I want to impress about people is before you do anything, you need to research it. You know, you can pay somebody like me to research it so you don't make any mistakes, because one little costly mistake, like their whole business model depended on them selling alcohol, and they did not get godfathered in, or they didn't get anything, so they could not sell alcohol. So basically you have this whole expensive restaurant and you have to carry it all on your food.
Right.
Later on, that same suburban town opened up liquor licenses so that they could sell alcohol in most of the restaurants in that suburban place. Well, it's a timing issue sometimes, because until one of these people open up and they do things to make business run like it need to, you just need to hold back, because you just be wasting your money.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
But let's go into segment 2. Let's talk about local assets. Who gets the contracts, capital, and opportunity?
Yeah, so Ephraim, let's talk about access then. Because entrepreneurs often feel like opportunity is happening somewhere, but they are not in the room.
That is real. Some entrepreneurs are talented but invisible. They are selling to individuals when institutions are already buying what they offer.
And they might not be on the vendor list.
Right. Not registered, not certified, no capability statement, no insurance, no B9 ready, no clean books, no procurement awareness, no bid calendar, no relationships with buyers. I've seen this in my history. A lot of people, they just miss the opportunity because they don't do the paperwork.
They ain't got nothing. So they think the city, the county, the school system, airport, utility company, hospital, or local agency does not need their services.
Well, the truth of it may be they never got ready to be found, because basically from my history, I've seen a lot of institutions say they cannot find qualified vendors. And you be saying like, but you got all these people who do the same service, but they don't get registered and on the list.
I mean, that's why efficiency matters, right? You know, opportunity rewards readiness. So if they're not ready, they're not going to be able to find them, and they're not going to have the opportunity. You cannot wait until the contract is posted to start looking for your documents. You got to already be in place, compliant, ready, and you got to be following the contract model that, the client has.
Yeah, we need to say something else. Local politics also determines who gets access to information. Some people know when funding opens. Some know when contracts are coming. Some know which certification matters. Some know what meetings to attend. Other entrepreneurs are just finding out after the money is gone.
And that is not always because they're lazy.
No, sometimes it's because the system is confusing. But confusing systems punish the unprepared first.
And that is why entrepreneurs need to move from compliant to readiness.
Yes. Are you networking with people who buy, or only people who clap?
Because applause feels good, but purchase orders pay bills.
If you're not on the vendor list, you may not even be in the game.
A contract opportunity is not an opportunity if you are disorganized.
Do not tell entrepreneurs to compete, then design contracts only big companies can win.
Yeah, because you really need an entrepreneur-ready checklist. Before you complain about not getting local opportunities, ask yourself this. Am I registered with a vendor? Do I know where bids are posted? Do I have a business license because that is required? Do I have insurance? You need that. Do I have a W-9 ready? Do I have capability statement? Do I have my NAICS codes? Are my books clean? You got to have some clean books. Can I prove performance? And can I respond quickly?
And I want to add one more. Do the right people know your business exists? Let's go back to this capability statement. A lot of people don't even know what it is. Okay, just because I'm in business does not mean I'm capable of winning this contract and performing this contract. So when they ask for a capability statement, I got to demonstrate to somebody that I can actually do the contract. I have the right people. I have the right equipment. I have the right systems and processes in place to be successful. And a lot of times people, when we talk about these terms, they be like, well, what's that? What's that? What's that? See, that's part of the research they need to do.
Yeah, and then you see that a lot of new business owners that's out there trying to build credibility. Now they're like, okay, are you even capable of doing all this? So they got to come in there with all their paperwork showing, yes, we're capable, even though we're a new business. And that could either be being awarded or not being awarded if they're ready or not. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing that I'd be worried about most of all are people who do these low bid contracts. Not no bid, low bid contract. It's no way possible you can do a whole contract. You don't even design the contract payment amount to pay one person. So you're going to clean the whole school system for $18,000. $1,000 going to pay one person's salary. Yes, you would win that contract, but you cannot do it for that price.
Exactly. You're just trying to make it too good to be true.
No, you're going to get yourself in trouble because you had to put up a surety bond and you're going to mess around and not be able to get insurance because when you find out you can't clean a whole school for $18,000, if you try to clean it and it's not going to be cleaned well and they start making complaints, you're going to get yourself off the vendor list and you're going to get yourself with no insurance. But let's ask these questions. Have you ever missed a contract, grant, or opportunity because your paperwork was not ready? Do you have a compatibility statement? Yes, no, or what is that? If your business wants government or institutional contracts and you do not have a vendor file, you are not ready. You're just interested. All right, let's go to segment number 3. Now, Jasmine, this is where we have to go deeper. Entrepreneurs cannot afford lazy voting.
Yes, that is so true because lazy voting is not just voting for the wrong person. It's voting without asking business questions.
Exactly. Do not just vote on party, personality, family tradition, a yard sign, a handshake, a church visit, a fish fry appearance, or a campaign slogan.
Exactly, especially if the person will have influence over business taxes, contracts, public safety, permit spending, licensing, development, and regulation.
So here are the questions entrepreneurs need to ask candidates before they vote. Question number 1. What is your platform and how should entrepreneurs view your platform? Do not let a candidate say, I support jobs and stop there. Entrepreneurs create jobs. So ask, how does your platform affect the people who create them?
Yes, they need to explain how their platform affects startup, home-based businesses, contractors, consultants, restaurants, retailers, nonprofits, service providers, and small employers.
Do not let the candidates say jobs without explaining how small business fit into their plan.
No, I was going to go into question number 2.
Okay, well, you do question number 2 then.
I got you. So the question number 2 is, how are you going to execute this platform? And this is my question. I want to hear the process. What happens in the first 90 days? Who is responsible? What is timeline? What department has to cooperate? And how will the public know whether it is working or not?
A platform without execution is a wish list with a microphone.
A campaign promise without execution is just a motivational speech with yard signs.
All right. Question number 3. How are you going to deal with the status quo? This is a grown folks question. Every system has people who benefit from how things already work. So if a candidate says they won't change, ask what they are willing to challenge.
Because the status quo usually does not call itself the status quo. It calls itself policy, procedure, or tradition, or the way we've always done it.
Yeah, if a candidate cannot tell you what they will challenge, they may already be captured by what they claim they will change.
And then the next question is, what are your legislative priorities? Ask what they will actually put on paper, what ordinance, bills, policies, or budget items will they support?
Yes, do not just ask what they believe. Ask what they will introduce, support, fund, or vote for. Do not just ask what they believe. Ask what they will put on paper. Number 5, who are you accountable to and who are your major funders? This one makes people uncomfortable, which usually means it needs to be asked.
Entrepreneurs need to know who has influence. Donors, contractors, the developers, PACs, unions, industry groups, these major businesses, all of that can shape your priorities.
Following the money does not mean assuming guilt. It means understanding incentive.
And if entrepreneurs have to show receipt, candidates should too.
Yes. Question number 6. How do you feel about business taxation? Everyone says they support small business until tax policy starts choking cash flow.
Ask about business license taxes, property taxes, franchise taxes, sales taxes, compliance, payroll costs, local fees, and whether they support simplifying compliance.
A tax policy that ignores cash flow is a business killer wearing a suit.
And 7 is, how do you feel about waste, fraud, abuse, and no bid contracts? This one matters because waste is not just a government issue. It affects entrepreneurs too.
Yeah, when contracts are steered, hidden, inflated, delayed, or no bid without strong justification, real businesses lose fair opportunity.
And ask if they support public dashboard, audit contract transparency, open bidding, and penalties for procurement abuse.
No bid contracts may be legal, but entrepreneurs should ask whether they are fair, necessary, and transparent.
And then we have some additional entrepreneur voting questions. Here are 4 more questions that every entrepreneur most definitely should ask. What is your plan to make local government easier to do business with? Small businesses do not have time to play hide and seek with government forms. What is your plan for small business access to public contracts? Do not announce opportunity if the process locks small businesses out. What will you do about the slow payments to small vendors? A delayed government payment can become a small business emergency. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
What is your plan for workforce development? Small businesses cannot scale if the workforce pipeline is broken. What is your plan for public safety and business districts? Customers do not spend where they do not feel safe. Yeah, I'm not going to the ghetto to spend money and if I don't feel safe, right?
Yeah.
What is your infrastructure plan? A pothole can become a profit problem. And you know Memphis got a lot of potholes. How will you improve access to capital? Do not just announce the capital. Help entrepreneurs qualify for it. And lastly, how will you measure success for entrepreneurs? Entrepreneurs measure profit and loss. Candidates should measure promises and results.
Let me add this. A lot of times, people are called to protest things like Elon Musk coming to Memphis. Why are you protesting that? Is it because you won't have money? Is it because you won't have opportunity? Is it because the citizens may have the opportunity to make more money? Is it because you feel like they're going to take up traffic? Or what are you protesting? I know a lot of people want you to protest things, and they want to deny people the opportunity to have opportunity. I know when AOC was protesting when Amazon wanted to open up plants and things in New York, and she felt good because she stopped Amazon from doing that. But think about all the jobs that those people did not get in the community.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. As you as an entrepreneur, you got to kind of look at how is this going to affect how I make money? Because if more people are available here in Memphis and there's more money circulating, the chances of your business blowing up or getting more business is greater than it staying the same as it was before or worse.
I think with the factories and everything, because I've been in a political, I want to say position before on my previous job where people were more concerned about like the environment overall because of the area. I would say because it was a historical area, and I'm not going to go into detail because I can't because it's a government job, but they were more concerned about that. And they just really didn't have a reason. The politician that was there, and he's well known around Memphis, he just came and yelled at the agency that was doing the work, didn't have any background information, wanted to get the people riled up because they were all calm at first, they were happy, and just wanted to be voted into office. So he really didn't have a point of doing that because he didn't have all the accurate information. He didn't know what he was talking about. And we just kind of had to sit there and look at him like this ignorant sucker. You know what I mean? It was horrible. I'm just not gonna lie to you. I couldn't get into politics if I even wanted to.
Well, that's the reason in Mic'd Up Money, we talk about issues with clarity, courage, and conviction. And a lot of times, this conversation with entrepreneurs and politics need to be made. It's not whether I'm a Republican or a Democrat, an independent, conservative, or progressive. It's about if I'm in business, I need to eat.
Right.
And if I have employees, they need to eat. And if I'm living in the city, we all need to eat. It's not about showing up and having yourself a platform by saying no. Tell me why you are saying no. What is your platform should be more than I don't like him. No, I may not like a lot of people, but I still need to eat.
Yeah, that's so true. It's about how it's going to affect you. Shoot.
Yes, but we're going to ask these questions for y'all to comment on. Entrepreneurs, what is one question you wish candidates would answer before asking entrepreneurs for votes? Then, should candidates be required to explain how their platform affects small businesses? And then, stop asking, do they support business? Ask, can they explain business?
Yeah, that's some very good questions. We would love to see y'all comment on them. So we're going to move into the next segment. State, taxes, license, compliance, and capital. So Ephraim, once entrepreneurs get past local issues, state rules come next. This is where a lot of owners get tripped up.
Yeah, they form an LLC and think they're finished.
And they're most definitely not.
Not even when they're closed. I like to say this. I'm going to interject this. When the people get a business license here where I am, I say it's like married to the state. It's not over until you file the final paperwork and close down the business. You may stop paying. You may go out of business. But until you file that paperwork, you still married to the state.
Most definitely. I totally agree with you. That's why if you don't need an LLC, don't form it right away. Depending on the business, they may still need tax registration, sales tax setup, professional licensing, annual filings, employment accounts, payroll setup, industry permit, and reporting system.
That is why I always say an LLC is not a strategy. It is a container.
And what you put inside that container still has to be organized.
State politics affects taxation, registration, licenses, workforce rules, capital programs, and compliance expectations. The state can be a gatekeeper, a regulator, a funder, or a penalty machine.
And when entrepreneurs do not track state deadlines, the consequences can become very expensive.
That is why this is not boring paperwork. This is survival infrastructure.
Do not confuse having an LLC with having your business in order.
LLC is not a business strategy. It is a container.
Compliance is cheaper than correction. That is so true.
Your paperwork can either open doors or explain why they stay closed. We want you to comment on this. What state filing, license, tax, or registration surprised you after you started your business? And do you think forming an LLC meant your business was fully set up? Let's go to segment number 5. National laws, big laws, big impact.
Yep.
Now, let's be clear. National politics matters.
Absolutely.
Federal tax law matters. SBA lending matters. IRS enforcement matters. Federal contracting matters. Banking rules matters. Tariffs matter. Healthcare policy matters. Labor rules matter.
But you know, most entrepreneurs feel their national policy after it filters down through the local states and system.
That is the point. National politics sets the weather, but local readiness determines whether your business has shelter.
And if the federal money becomes available, you still need your documents. You still need clean books. You still need registrations. You still need proof. You still need your systems.
Some entrepreneurs hear about federal funding and get excited. Then the application asks for financial statements, tax returns, registrations, certifications, payroll records, insurance, and a business plan.
And that is when excitement turns into panic.
Because they wait until opportunity knocked to start looking for the key.
And by then, somebody organized has already opened the door. You lost it.
But let me say this. I have been so mad on the federal level because for the last decade, Memphis and Shelby County has lost opportunity. We used to have opportunity zones here locally where business owners would have got credits for hiring people or being in certain locations. But, you know, because of our federal representation, all this stuff kind of drifted away from Memphis and Shelby County. And it's hard being one of the only Democratic areas in a Republican state. And especially if you have people who don't want to play ball.
Mm-hmm.
And that really affects entrepreneurs because if you don't want to cross the aisle for this, that, and the other, come across that aisle and get me some pork for this city and make sure some money flows here for everyone, not just a couple of people. Yeah. But national politics sets the weather. Local readiness determines whether your business has shelter.
Efficiency is not boring. Efficiency is access.
Do not wait until opportunity knocks to start looking for the key.
By then, somebody organized has already opened the door. You missed it.
Yes. So, Jasmine, let's give entrepreneurs a plan, not theory, not just commentary. What should they do this week?
They should start local. That is the first instruction. Before you get lost in national noise, handle your immediate business environment. And I have a readiness checklist that I can give you. So 1 is confirm your business license status. The second thing is to check city and county requirements, review your permits and zoning, register as a local vendor where applicable, gather your W-9, EIN letter, yes, you need EIN, insurance documents, licenses, tax documents, and banking information. Yes, you need a business bank account, not personal. Create a compliance calendar, identify local procurement and grant opportunities, build a 1-page capability statement, insurance and bonding requirements, and find local small business resource offices.
Let's circle back with this permits and zoning. You know, a lot of people have their business located at their house, and by zoning laws, that may be illegal for you to do that.
Really?
Yeah. So if you have a residential zoning for your house, it cannot be a business address. So that's why one of the reasons you might need to get you a virtual office or somewhere that's zoned commercial, because if you're in the wrong location, that can count against you when you're trying to get these local contracts.
Oh, that's something interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's why permits and zoning is so important. And the other thing about it is when you're going to do new construction, make sure that wherever you're trying to start, something like that was already there. Because if you get a blank space and you try to turn it into a restaurant, your permit may take longer than you ever expect, because when they come in and do those inspections, if everything is not right, then it could be a horror story. And then from what I understand from past experience, one inspector may come and tell you do it this way. Then the next inspector may come out and say, no, that's all wrong, do it this other way. And then the same other inspector may come back and say, no, this is all wrong, do it this, put it back the other way. So it's very good to make sure you get your use and occupancy statement, but make sure if you want to do a restaurant, make sure the last place was a restaurant. That would save you on your plumbing, that would save you on your other requirements if it was already that before you got started. But if you're going to start out with a blank shell, that's going to be real expensive.
Yeah, I just thought about that too, because business. I know a friend of mine was going into business and they were trying to open a furniture store. And I was just like, okay. But the furniture store was originally like a cigar bar. So he ended up not doing it because I was, obviously that's not going to work. It take a lot of money to do that blank slate unless you're, building a building from the ground up or whatever. But yeah, it just makes so much sense. That's why when you see a lot of restaurants close around Memphis, you see another restaurant open in the same building with a different name because it's just easier that way, right?
It is, but let me give you another secret about doing things. If you're going to lease a building, make your landlord do all the leasehold improvements and you just pay a little higher rent. I say that because A, you would save yourself a lot of capital converting something over to what you need it to be, and all the risk would be on the landlord.
Yeah.
But so before you get started, you see, because like I said, you would hate to pay rent and then the code inspector won't let you start till 6 months later.
Yeah.
Okay. So make the landlord do all the leasehold improvements. Just get a longer lease, pay a little bit more money, but save that money in your pocket, because when you go to the bank, if I had to pay $24,000 to convert a space, that's stupid money because it's not an asset and you just improve somebody else's property, and to make them able to rent their space for the next person.
Right. That makes sense.
Okay. But let me give you my strategic readiness questions. First question, who controls access to the opportunity I want? What public dollars are being spent in my industry? What certifications could help position my business? What relationships do I need before I need something? What rules could increase my costs or block my growth? What local board, council, agency, or office affects my business first? What public policies could change my pricing? What political decision could affect my customer traffic? What contracts am I seeing because I'm not registered? What contracts am I not seeing because I'm not registered? And what am I complaining about that I have not yet researched?
Entrepreneurs need to build what I call a readiness file.
What goes in it?
So you have your business license, your EIN, your W-9, insurance certification, that capability statement, tax document, financial statements, references, because you need those, service descriptions, pricing sheet, contracts, get key deadlines.
So basically, stop walking into opportunity empty-handed.
Exactly. Inspiration is not a documentation.
Say that again.
Inspiration is not a documentation.
That's a clip.
Here is the bottom line. If your paperwork is gathered, your licenses are expired, your deadlines are missed, your documents are not ready, you might be blocking your own opportunity.
And if you know local politics, you may be knowing the very system that controls your permits, fees, contracts, inspections, assets, and growth.
Entrepreneurs do not need to become politicians. Heaven knows I don't.
They do need to become politically intelligent.
They need to start local,
Understand the state,
pay attention nationally.
and before you vote, ask better questions.
Before you chase contracts, you better get ready.
Before you complain about opportunity, check your access.
And before you say the system is unfair, learn how the system works.
And yes, sometimes the system is unfair.
But being unprepared makes it way worse.
That's the hard truth.
And the helpful truth.
Because the entrepreneur who understands the rules does not just hustle harder.
They move smarter.
And that's
money.
We want to talk about a free tool that we have. It's called the Entrepreneur's Political Readiness Scorecard. And you rate yourself between 1 to 5 to make sure you're ready for your opportunity. And the thing about it is, if you get 65 to 75, you are politically intelligent and opportunity ready. But if you get 50 to 64, you have a strong foundation, but you need sharpening for a better positioning. And if you get 35 to 49, you're hustling hard, but you're unprepared. And if you're below 35, your business is exposed and you need to start local immediately. And the thing that we want to understand is your vote is not just civic participation. For entrepreneurs, your vote is also a business decision. You got anything?
So go out there and vote.
Well, my thing is, I want you to vote, but before you vote, I want you to ask some questions.
Do your research.
Yeah, and ask some mic'd up questions. Because, I tell people all the time I'm an independent conservative. And the first thing someone say, they're going to raise my taxes, they're not getting my vote. They have so much money out there that they mess up. Why are you telling me up front you're going to raise my taxes? It's just like somebody say, I'm going to raise your taxes and make your house note go up $200 or $300. Why would you vote for that person?
Exactly.
Then somebody tell you, I'm going to raise your tags, so you're going to have to pay $50 more to get your same car tag. Why would you vote for that person?
Exactly.
And then someone tell you, I'm going to raise your state fees, so now that your corporation used to pay $100 to stay alive, now you have to pay $200.
That's why people need to do that research and just don't go vote for the prettiest thing that's loud.
Yeah, that's why I stay independent, because I don't care who you are. If you tell me you're going to raise my taxes, I'm not voting for you.
Exactly.
But thank you for hearing today's program. Again, you can go to our website and get this free tool. It will be a link on our posting so that you can access the free tool. But we enjoyed you being here today. And anything else you want to say?
I'm glad I'm back. I'm ready for the next episode.
Yeah. Everybody say hello in the comments. Say hello, baby Amari.
Yeah, we're good. We're in here with his daddy, but
All right. One thing I need to say is a lot of y'all are listening to the content. A lot of y'all are looking at the reels, but you're not subscribing to the channel. And we really need you to subscribe to this channel so that we can validate what we're doing here with Mic'd Up Money. Just hitting the subscribe button or just giving us a like or giving us a comment helps us a whole lot with our algorithms, and it helps us to get this content out. It helps us to help entrepreneurs more, but it also helps us to justify why we are doing what we're doing. The whole purpose of this program is for us to make an impact on business in general.
That's a wrap for this week on Mic'd Up Money. Don't forget to grab your free tools at MicdupMoney.com. Follow us at Mic'd Up Money on all social platforms and keep taking your next right money move. Until next time, stay reset, stay ready, and stay mic'd up.
Mic'd Up Money, let's go.